Holy shit. Welcome to Living Out Loud Live. I'm Vicki. It's been a hot minute. We are glad to be back, even though we're still battling a lot of different health issues that keep sidelining us. With me are my two amazing sisters, Laura and Jaime. Both are strong ally activists in their own right. They are my closest family and best friends. For those of you who don't know us, I have the honor of introducing my sister, Jaime, who is on the front lines of the fight for not only transgender rights, but for all social justice. She's the founder of Moms for Hope, an organization to educate and connect parents of transgender children. She's a public school history teacher making a difference in the lives of the next generation every day. And it's also a mom with two teen boys and one tween girl. And yet somehow, with everything she has going on, she still manages to join us here at the table each week to change the world. This time with a bad cold.
Yeah.
Jaime, what are you not drinking tonight, and how's your week been?
So I'm not, as you can hear, my voice is kind of shaky. I'm not drinking wine. I'm actually drinking tea with lemon in it, which is not usually my drink of choice. But yeah, I have a body full of NyQuil, and I didn't really think it would be in my best interest to drink wine with it, because you might not even understand the word that was coming out of my mouth. So my week has been kind of stressful. I haven't been feeling well. Jackson actually wasn't feeling well last week and got me sick. I wasn't feeling well on Sunday. And then, it was just Monday was back to school. And then yesterday I had to sit in district meetings at the district office all day. Today I had state was in doing observations all day. And then tomorrow I have more observations. So I'm just trying to get to the end of the week and to make it through my week. And but I didn't want to postpone because I wanted to see you all, and I miss you both. And so I missed the show, and there's so many events that are happening that I wanted to make sure that we were all on top of. So I get the honor of introducing the exceptional and strong, beyond belief, well-known, fierce as hell LGBTQIA plus activist, the creator of the Living Out Loud with Laura podcast, mother of two LGBTQIA plus daughters that came out in adulthood, a reformed corporate Barbie who struggles daily with chronic illness and yet is a proud rainbow warrior. How are you tonight, Laura? I've missed you.
I've missed you so much.
And how's your week been?
Well, I am drinking tonight, so I am drinking for you this evening. I have a mudslide. You see, I'm taking one for the team tonight.
Perfect.
I am very, very grateful to you ladies. I had a lot of testing 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately, apparently it just stressed me a little much, and it's taken me a lot longer to recover than I would like it to have. However, this weekend I'm feeling much, much better, and I'm excited for the Trans Day of Visibility this weekend. I'm excited for the Moms for Hope training that's coming up. So there's so many good things to look forward to that, of course, I get to do with my beautiful, wonderful sisters that I absolutely love. So I get to introduce our sister, Vicki. She's a newly remodeled transgender woman, lesbian wife of a gorgeous Lisa, who I absolutely love, by the way, stepmom of two amazing men, a woke rainbow mafia liberal feminist with only one true agenda, and that is to end hate and spread love and light. What's in your cup, bitch? And how has your week been?
Did she show up tonight? I'm sorry. Oh, shit. It's been kind of crazy. So I have for Disney, now that I'm doing events, I'm part of the corporate pride organization. So I've been doing a lot. I did a 1-year anniversary for the GET, the Get Authentically Transition program, and I closed that with a speech. As one of the 4 panelists, I've heard nothing but good things from that, and I really appreciate that. And I've already had a few people reach out to me that want me to be their mentor while they're going through transition, and that was really what mattered to me the most. And then Friday, I have basically a web gathering. It's not so much a lecture, but it's a gathering we're going to be talking about healthcare, and not so much from the standpoint of what the company offers, but what we've encountered that's good, that's bad, that basically a chance to vet and vent and talk about what's going on in the community. And then Saturday, I don't think I got anything going on Saturday. I think I'm just going to lay by the pool Saturday. Now we'll get to what's going on Saturday. We have a lot of good stuff going on. I'm really excited for a bunch of things. All together, we are queens of the overshare, especially when they try to take our rights away. We are also a loveliness of ladybugs, and we welcome all of our intersectional ladybugs family and friends who are here every week, as well as those of you who are joining us live or in replay. This is an opinion show. All the opinions are our own, so you may hear some shit you don't agree with, and you can join the discourse in our comments. Please do us a favor and include your name, because we don't always see who it is when we see it here in the studio. And don't troll. We just block trolls. It's such a waste of time. We are fucking explicit often.
Get that out of the way.
You just kind of threw that one out there.
So parents, please monitor what your kids are viewing. They shouldn't be watching our shit anyways. Fair warning, we will forget about you in comment land. We kind of get involved in our discussion and forget we're doing a live stream. But we will try to get back to you as often as we can, because this isn't a show. This is what happens when three sisters who are activist accomplices decide to change the world together. All right? Here we go. Okay, we got a ton of shit coming up. Oh, stuff. Sorry, we've got a ton of fucking shit coming up. So one of the things I'm most excited about is the Be Your Brightest Pride Prom. I got my tickets finally. We are all set. I have to figure out which dress I'm going to wear. It is at the Orlando Science Center on April 12th. Tickets are only available for a few more days. So if you're going to grab your tickets, it's time to. We've had some promposals. So this one looks familiar.
I love it.
I can't quite place who that is. Oh, yeah.
That's the beautiful and gorgeous Lisa.
It is. And, it's. I didn't get to go to my high school prom, so I am so excited to go with all of you, and I'm not going to fucking tear up. I
am so excited as well. It's a neon, I believe, is the theme. I'm not going to lie. That's not going to happen. I'm going to be wearing a beautiful black dress, and I'm going more for the disco ball kind of effect with my dress.
Yeah, I'm actually not wearing black, so that's going to be shocking.
What?
Yeah, I'm not wearing black.
I'm definitely leaning more towards glam. Even Lisa has a few choices, so this was really exciting. And then right after that, there was this.
I love the duck.
That shiny border of hot pink fuchsia glitter is the color of my dress. So yeah, that's about as bright as I get. So yeah. Of course, it's Dr. Dennis's suit, which nobody's seen yet. So
yes. Oh my God. So I hear that the suit needs to be seen to believe, right?
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to believe it until they actually see it. And I have been getting messages, believe it or not, from people who follow us on Instagram and stuff like that, saying, are you talking about the one at the Science Center, and telling me they're going to be there? And please, if somebody comes up to you and fangirls it, like, here, this is who I am and what I'm dressed as. So apparently there's going to be a lot of people, and it looks like it's going to be a full house. So I can't wait.
When I was at Tampa Pride this weekend, I talked to Gabe from 90 Day Fiance. He was the first trans man on 90 Day Fiance, and he's going to be there this weekend also. So I told him to make sure that he was on the lookout for us.
That is so
I
cool.
think Dempsey and I met him at Pride, because I believe he
Yes.
spoke before. He was the MC before. I think he was like talking in front of us or talking before us or something. So that's awesome.
We also got to see the launch of Jamie's momsforhope.org website, and some exciting news. The first event is going to be a virtual event this Saturday. You can sign up on the website. Please tell us all about it. Lisa and I are so excited to attend.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can register on the website, momsforhope.org. I think there was a typo. I don't know if you fixed it. Did you fix it, Vicki? Yeah, perfect. So it's from 10 to 12. It's 2 hours. It's virtual, so you can join us from anywhere. And it's really going to be talking about how to tell your story of yourself, the story of your journey, the story of your family, and how it can be most impactful in kind of combating this negative anti-trans legislation that's going on around us.
Now,
It's
for
probably
me,
something that would have been helpful a couple of weeks ago, but I'm still going to join it.
I'm doing Easter with my family between 10 and 12. So for people like me that aren't able to attend this one, what are other opportunities that might be coming our way?
So this is part of a series of trainings, and instead of doing, one whole day where you're kind of locked in for multiple hours, we're going to break it up and chunk it. I just think it's easier for working parents and parents with kids to do it this way. I don't know what the next one is going to be, but I'm planning it for April. So it should be like kind of consecutive, and I'm doing it in conjunction with Hope Community Center. So I am actually going to be kind of a participant. I'm not the facilitator because I'm there to learn as well. So
awesome.
And I will point out again, we wrestled away momsforhope.org from a hate organization. So we're turning into something really, really good.
And we actually are going to be kind of launching like soon. We're going to be launching Dads for Hope as well, because Moms for Hope, I don't want to ever have anybody think that it's excluding anyone. It really does encompass every caregiver, guardian, ally in this whole realm. But we wanted to make a space also for dads, and so we're working on that too. That's coming up.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I love how you're doing that and adding some things that will be more dad specific on their language that resonates more with them. I think that's absolutely wonderful. I know Dennis and John do an absolutely phenomenal job being fathers that are willing to stand up, but I don't think a lot of other dads know how to do that. So I'm so grateful that you are adding the Dads for Hope too.
I agree. I think it's much needed, and it's going to fill a gap in some resources.
And Family for Hope will be for people like me, the aunts, and we need to be able to have a place to gather too, to know how to support. So having those three voices, I think, is going to be critical. I loved when it was, hey, and Jamie was very smart about it. She's like, I need to expand the brand. I need to have different voices and different spaces for people. So it makes it easier. So yeah, I will be getting those ready, and they will be launching this Friday, which is really exciting. So yeah. And then, we got a little something coming up on Saturday, I think.
A little speaking engagement.
Just maybe a little something.
A little something. So for tonight's first feature, we're actually going to talk a little bit about transgender in a historical way. We have never done that before. It was weird to realize we have never talked about that this way. So Jamie, as our resident historian, as long as your voice holds out.
As long as my voice holds out, yeah. Although it sounds pretty, like, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling very milfy today. Like, I feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes, and so yeah, like I could like host a radio talk.
Your hair is doing it, definitely.
My hair is not brushed. That's the beauty of it. So it's easy for transphobic historians to try and paint a mythical past devoid of LGBTQIA+ people, but we know that isn't true.
Yeah, we have gone by many names in ancient cultures, like the Hydra in South Asia, or two-spirited people in Native American tribes. And when I was doing the research, many monks and saints were discovered to be gender fluid after their deaths in the Middle Ages. I didn't realize that.
Joan of Arc may be one of the most well-known transmasculine in all of history. We know she presented as a man with short black hair, and despite being portrayed as ultra femme, an artwork depicts an artwork depicting her after her execution. She is also held up as a bastion for feminism, although there's no evidence supports that either.
Yeah, TERFs try to lay claim to her quite a bit. And so other than, even in this, they try to show off the kind of the feminine scale and proportion of her.
Mm-hmm.
None of that jives with what the accounts were. There was only one piece of portrait of her that was done during her lifetime, and that was destroyed, basically probably to get rid of the evidence.
Oh, definitely, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, many modern theories point out that while cross-dressing was illegal in the Middle Ages, just like today, it was more likely they were offended to the point of execution by somebody proudly queer and also claiming to be a devout Christian.
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar.
It does. And just to interject one tidbit that I saw before I was actually about to jump on, Dennis was telling me that that Trump is selling Bibles now. And
yes, for $60.
I was
$60.
I was listening to him describe, because they asked him what his favorite passage was, and he said, I love many of them. I have many favorite ones, but those are private to me because I think the religion is private. It's a private thing, but I love the Bible and I love it so much. He just kept deflecting because he can't.
He has many Bibles around his house.
He's very
book to read.
They're very big verses. They're not small verses. They're big verses.
I just thought that was
the big
funny.
ones are his favorite.
Yeah, his favorite, the ones he doesn't know. Anywho, all right, accounts of people seeking medical treatment for issues with gender identity started showing up in European and American literature in the 18th and 19th century, including the notable 18th century soldier, diplomat, and spy Xavier Dion, who after spying for King Louis XV in England, sought political exile there and published the highly scandalous Letters, a memoir of negotiations, which started to present full-time as a woman in 1777, and in writings after making clear that she viewed herself as a woman. And King Louis XVI actually allowed her to remain a woman as long as she did so for the remainder of her life.
Yeah, she kind of an exceptional story. A spy, so used to living kind of the double life anyway. She had a political rival who submarined her spying in Britain and tried to get her killed. So she basically sought political asylum. And after that rival was pulled back to France, that's when King Louis XVI granted her a pardon and restored her pension. And but it was on the condition, because there were laws against cross-dressing and being transgender, as long as she remained who she was, it was good. Now, unfortunately, France fell, right? The monarchy fell, and so her pension was lost, and she ended up selling off most of her belongings and died in poverty, but still was happy being who she was.
Living her authentic life,
Living her authentic life.
I just want to bring up real quick before you go further that there's accounts of, with the Holocaust, them destroying lots and lots of trans history that had been saved and passed down. So that also, I don't believe we get into it all today, but that's just another part of the Holocaust and how they were going after anybody that was just different.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't include that because, of course, we don't know what was destroyed because it was totally and completely destroyed. Um,
But
but
the evidence does suggest, I mean, as far as who the casualties and the losses of the Holocaust, I mean, you're looking at 6 million Jewish people that were lost, and another 6 million of all of those others, whether they were
Yes.
gypsies or gay or trans or whatever. There was an equal amount of those people lost as well.
And let's talk about our American GI. Christine Jorgensen was the first woman to be famous for having a gender reassignment surgery. She had been a war hero during World War II, but always exhibited feminine qualities, even asking her mother, "Why didn't God make us alike?" Um, she felt attraction to males, but realized quickly this was not because she was gay, but because she was really a woman. She was honorably discharged after World War II and went to photography school in New York City. In 1950, she had to go to Denmark to meet with an endocrinologist, Dr. Christian Hamburger, crazy name in our history, right? Who diagnosed her as transsexual, not homosexual. She started taking estrogen and continued on it with the required psychiatric evaluations for 2 years until her male genitalia was removed. Before she returned to the US, she took the chosen name Christine to honor the doctor who had made her dreams come true. And while she was largely accepted when she returned and kind of celebrated, when they found out that she did not have a vagina, she was portrayed as a morbid transvestite. So she did undergo vaginoplasty in 1954. And her famous quote was about her gender dysphoria was, the answer to the problem must not lie in sleeping pills and suicides that look like accidents or in jail sentences, but rather in life and the freedom to live it.
You know, I just have to say, I do not understand why people are so obsessed with what's in people's pants. That part is supposed to be private. It's called a private part for a reason. So
Mhm.
why do people ask people about this all the time? It's ridiculous. I could not imagine being in church and turning to somebody and saying, "How's your yeast today, May?" I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, and the fact that you have this, this published account and is very celebrated account. I mean,
Yes.
you had this on the front page of the Daily News, and it
Look at how
was
beautiful she
celebrated
was.
like a big deal. And then it was like, oh wait, you don't have that part? Wait a minute, then you can't be a woman, which is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Right. And
100%
again, that's
ludicrous. Yeah.
a big part of my argument on on Saturday. Don't mean to bury the lead. That's usually Laura's job. It's going to be about stories and how stories matter, and how stories are the way we combat the false narrative that's being spread about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's our only offensive weapon, and it's the strongest weapon that we have. So it's time
And
to start using it.
us using history and talking about these things, we've covered things like the Stonewall riots on one of our earlier shows this year. Our stance was simply that without transgender people like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and Miss Major, directly involved in the riots and subsequent activism, there are no LGBTQIA plus rights. So those in our rainbow community who seem to think transgender people don't deserve a seat at the table, remember, we all stick together, or they take us down marginalized community by marginalized community.
That's
Yeah.
right. And since the late 20th century, the focus has been the fight for legal recognition, access to often expensive healthcare we need, and general acceptance in society, which brings us to the Transgender Day of Visibility, or also known as TDOV, which is an annual event normally observed on the 31st of March. But in this case, it's shifted because obviously the 31st this year of March is Easter. Easter falls early. And being the mom of a trans kid, kid and a best friend and sister of trans women. I am thrilled that it's going to come at the close of Women's History Month, especially as women are so trans women are so often targeted for exclusion by those who choose not to accept gender identity as valid, and that they are part of womanhood in the women's community. The day is designed to highlight the contributions of transgender individuals, advocate for acceptance, and increase the overall understanding of gender acceptance. It is also the place for sharing stories, trans individuals to share their stories, to stand up and be seen for who they are, promoting individual empowerment.
Yeah, so I am going to be speaking at the Space Coast Pride Day, Trans Day of Visibility. And again, it's going to be Saturday, March 30th in Melbourne, Florida at the Ugale Square. It's going to start at 5 p.m. and then immediately after the rally, there's going to be a march across the causeway. I found out this week that I'm going to be the closing speaker there. And that was something that was fought for. Now it's very strange to me because I've never been to one of the events. A year ago, I was still learning how to put on a bra, to be real honest, and makeup was still kind of
Foreign.
New and foreign, right?
It's still foreign to me.
Yeah. So, and it's not just Space Coast Pride. The Center in Orlando is going to be having an event also on the same day from 1 to 4 p.m. So technically, you could go to Orlando, and if you raced your ass down to Melbourne, you could be there for the.
I actually checked it out. I actually timed it. It's 55 minutes from the center to where it is in Space Coast, because I was trying to figure out if I could make it to a part of the Orlando one, if I could then boot, scoot, and boogie my way over to Brevard.
And you can catch the 10 to 12 if you wanted in the morning. For those of you that can attend, you can do that virtually from anywhere. So it's a Zoom. You can do it from your phone. You don't have to be sitting. I mean, just drive safe and everything, but you can do that virtually too. So
that's what we're going to be doing. And again, I mean, I know my sisters. My wife tells me all the time she's sick of hearing my story. So maybe this is the chance I get to, tell my story to someone else. But I don't tell it because I want recognition or because I'm proud. I tell it because I don't want anyone else to be where I was. Where I was 2 years ago, I don't wish on anybody. Even the people that hate me the most, I wouldn't wish that upon them or in any way. And so I'm going to be very proud to present my story as a cautionary tale, to put it lightly, right? And it's going to be my first time attending. So and speaking and closing, the first time I'm going. What can you tell me about the event? What do I expect? What is the impact it's had on you and other people that you know? And should people be afraid to come in this current climate because of people are afraid to come out? And I want.
I'm going to just talk to the last part of it because I can't talk to the beginning ones either. I do not believe anyone should be afraid to come out because visibility matters. And what I believe is trying to happen is to suppress people and make people hide. And the less we talk about it, the less we normalize it, and the less there's understanding of it. So, I'm so excited to say at Tampa Pride this past weekend, we saw one lol protester, little sad man, just a little sad man over there. I think, especially if you're an ally and you don't have a trans loved one, which I mean a daughter, son, sister, mother, family member, like close, but you are trying to learn and be more visible, I think this is a beautiful place to come to where you can hear stories and also see other families there and be able to hear their stories. Even if you just go up and, I know Jamie's happy to talk about her family and her life. I'm happy to share about mine as well. So I don't think people should be afraid to come out.
And I mean, we've attended these events before on Trans Day of Visibility, and I will say it's a bit of a different tone than the Trans Day of Remembrance. That it's a bit more somber, a day of honoring those who we've lost to senseless violence. Trans Day of Visibility is more of an empowerment day, so it is more of speaking your truth, and getting to hear these really amazing stories of resilience, and so it really is empowering. Dempsey always enjoys hearing other people tell their stories, and there's power in visibility, absolutely. And I agree to Laura's point. This is definitely an event that you want to go to, and stand in solidarity. Even if you don't have someone who is trans that is close to you, if you want to learn more, which we all need to learn more to understand, this is the kind of event that you want to go to and show up to. And I do think it's special because it's in Space Coast, and Space Coast has a very dark history with a lot of this anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. A lot of it started there, but I will tell you that walking over that causeway, it's so beautiful to walk and see all of those flags, and definitely bring your signs and your flags, and just watching this sea go over that bridge is just such a glorious thing. You definitely should be there, and it's definitely something that shouldn't be missed by anyone at all. Like, please come out.
And we're talking about stories, which is, Trans Day of Visibility. But Jaime, isn't that what your Moms for Hope's training is going to be about? Is talking about how to be able to share your stories?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much power in just sharing your story anyway, and being able to reach people by touching their hearts and their minds. When Dennis and I and Dempsey talk to other people, it's always about, look, I'm not here to change the world in this one moment. I'm here to touch one person's heart, or get one person thinking. And so to be able to tell your story effectively and to reach an audience by being real and not hiding behind a whole bunch of words and like nonsense words, that stuff that's not coming from your heart, people see through that. And so I think there really is a skill in speaking from your heart, which I know Vicki is going to do, and been working very hard on coming up with her words and choosing them carefully. And so that is definitely, I think, what the power of telling the story of yourself is. And I think anybody can really benefit from that, because I mean, there's nothing more powerful than someone's personal story. It's more powerful than any book I've ever read or any movie I've ever watched,
Yeah, I have never churned over words so much in my life as I have for this speech. And not because I'm worried it's going to somehow negatively portray me in any way. My story is my story, and being honest, a year and a half ago, even a year ago, I was looking at pictures of Pride Prom, thinking that was a stretch goal. If I could maybe even go to that, maybe I'd be confident enough to go out and live authentically as that. You too, my Ladybug sisters, have changed my life. And I know I talk about it all the time online. I try to dance around with words and tell you how much it has meant. I would not be married still if it weren't for the two of you showing Lisa that there was life after transition. I would not be as confident and strong and empowered as a woman if I had not been given a seat at this table. And I'm going to tell you something that I've never said before. When I look in both of your eyes, I see the truth. I see that you see me for who I am, what I am. You don't see me as anything different. You don't see the shell. You don't see the effort to align who I am. You see me. And that is the most empowering and beautiful thing that you can give someone who is transgender. That is the thing that changes lives.
Yeah.
So I love you both more than I will ever be able to say.
Love you.
Love you.
And, I'm hoping that my words will help somebody else who was where I was a year and a half ago go, oh, maybe there is happiness and hope.
They will. I know they will.
So,
I know they do. They already do. And I know you're going to reach even more people this week. And even if it is one person, when that person goes and tells your story, it's going to be one more person and one more person. So I can promise you your story is going to live on.
well, and hopefully John will be live streaming. Hopefully we'll have enough power. I mean, so anybody who wants to watch, I know Deirdre can't be there. She's out of town, so she wanted to be there, and
I wish fairy godmother Deirdre could be there.
She really is. She really is. So at this point, we are going to let Jaime drop off and continue to get over her cold. We are definitely going to miss you for the rest of the show. Any last thoughts?
Love you. Go rest. Take care of yourself.
I will. I'm got to figure out how to turn the screen off. It's the NyQuil's finally kicked in, and I can't do it. Can't do it, Clarice. It won't open. Oh, there we go. All right. Love you all.
Love you.
Bye.
Feel better.
Okay. Well, this is a little familiar, isn't it? We haven't done this in a long time.
It's been a long time since it's only been you and I.
So
it's so weird. There should be a third, but
yeah,
Mystique's here. So Mystique will be the blonde just sitting quietly in the corner.
Yep. So I'm going to play one of our old bumpers. Here we go, and we'll start up on our next segment. So I wanted to close out tonight talking just the two of us about some of the health issues you've been having and struggling with. We see the impact it's having on you, and I wanted to give you a chance to kind of describe things and help others understand where you are, because obviously we love the show. We love doing the show. You can see that in the joy from all of us.
Yeah, I get a lot of joy out of it.
But more important to both Jaime and I is your health and you doing the best you can. So I know you've got some ways that help others understand what you're dealing with and how you're dealing with it. And so where have you been? What's going on?
Well, go ahead and put up the beautiful slide about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is something that since last September, probably last June is when I started suspecting that this might actually be what was the crux of my main issue. And then last September, I had my first appointment at the Mayo Clinic's EDS clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. And since then, the majority of my care and testing and everything has been taken over by Mayo Clinic because they're trying to figure everything out. One of the fun things that they say when you go to Mayo Clinic is often you come there thinking you're going to have one diagnosis and you end up with a plethora more because they find the things that are very unusual. And EDS is the zebra disease, which is amusing. And the reason they call it a zebra disease is doctors are taught to when you hear hooves, think horses and not zebras, right? So they call it the zebra disease because we're the zebras that nobody are hearing because our hooves sound the same.
Yeah, they did try, honestly, to domesticate zebras. That didn't work out well.
You know what? You should never try to domesticate a zebra.
Right.
We cannot be domesticated.
And what's fun is that this week there was actually a YouTube video from the Science Guys, because I follow up, that actually talked about EDS and explained it in a way where it's like, wow. Yeah, and so just looking at the amount of symptoms and the amount of different things that this can present at, I totally get it, because a doctor wants to get from A to B as quickly as possible. And
so
no.
The very interesting thing with EDS is it's a collagen disorder. So that is a great thing because it makes me look young, because I don't look like I'm 47 now, do I? I definitely don't look like I have a 26-year-old and a 24-year-old and that I've been married 30 years, but I have. It's all true. However, it also
Scandal lied and no. Oh,
no cartilage in my nose out. So I look young, but I have other things that are not normal. So most people would think if I had a collagen disorder, I'd look old. Like they're like, but you look young. Yes, I do. And one of the technicians at the Mayo Clinic, I think, said it the best when she said, "Oh, you have EDS." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, that must suck because you don't look sick. And I know you have to feel horrible." And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it. And I have to tell you, the hardest part for me on my journey on the chronic health is the depression and the loss of self. That has been really, really hard because with chronic health conditions, often the more you ignore them and you keep trying to push through them, the worse and worse you get.
right.
And for years and years, I was going to the doctor complaining about issues. And in 2018, it started getting bad where I actually started having time off of work where I'd have to go out on FMLA to try to get better. And what would happen is I'd get well enough and then I'd go back and then I'd push and push and push. And then I'd get so much worse than I was the last time. So every time I kept going, I kept pushing myself further and further from what was normal, and getting my body into a state where it basically dysautonomia means that my body does not want to. It's a manual instead of an automatic. Like sometimes you have to tell my body to do things. Like there's sometimes John will look at me and say, breathe, breathe, breathe. Because if I'm having a pain symptom or something, I just don't. I have to, oh, okay, breathe. Okay, yes, that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Weird little things like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, these little things that they say, like this, they call the gang sign for EDS, which is really, really funny. And just like little stupid things like your fingers bend, and we're just really, really bendy people. But your entire body is connective tissues. Everything is your skin, your organs, your blood vessels, like everything is collagen. So if you look, you notice everything like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Had a really
I mean,
bad.
obviously, organ rupture, aneurysms, mitral valve prolapse. Those are the things that I'm looking at that are most terrifying to me.
Yes. And the problem is like, so the GI issues, not too long ago, I had to go to the emergency. We weren't able to do a show because I ended up in the emergency room and I ended up having colitis. That's because there's times where it's like gastroparesis where my bowels just won't move. They just don't. It's part of the dysautonomia. They just, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're just going to hang out here and like be boring. Which then causes problems, which is crazy. Poor healing. I had a double mastectomy last I guess August, and it took It took 10 weeks for my incisions to heal. So
Oh.
that is what took so much longer. And December, I was 1 year post reconstruction, and I still was only at 6 months of healed by the time I had gone for my 1 year follow-up.
Right.
So everything just takes a lot longer to heal. Now, another part of this is if you notice, a lot of these might seem like they're a little painful too. The average person with EDS is in a pain scale of 6 on a good day. If I'm on a 4, I'm living high on the horse. Like I feel pretty good if I'm in a 4, I got to tell you. There are days, and I told Vicki, I knew going to the parade and being in the parade was going to be very overwhelming for me, but it's something that was very, very important for me to do also for visibility. However, like I told Vicki, the next days I could barely walk. I could barely put weight on my legs. It just, because my joints are not in line normally. I don't walk normally. My feet, like I have flat feet to where they're starting to cave in because I have nothing that holds it up.
Right.
So,
And we've seen that. We've seen where you have been with us, and we have been, having a great time, and then it takes its toll, and you have so much of a recovery time, and I feel like shit because I didn't realize that it was, and we'll get to the spoons. I think the spoons are very critical and important to explain. But I did want to bring up one other thing. Oh, Jesus.
He's driving me nuts.
When I was a kid, the pastor of my church was kicked out of his role because the church thought he was drunk, when really what he had was MS. And I know that people are very quick to judge and not ask.
Oh, yes. Before I lost my job because they fired me because I was unable to work, I'm just going to be honest, they fired me for not being able to return to work, and then they denied my disability. But we won't even go there. We'll just not be all negative about it. However, because of the effects that I was having, I have seizure type events. People were calling and reporting that I was drinking at work.
Yeah. See,
you can just imagine the stress that you then get when HR is calling you, accusing you of drinking at work.
Yeah. And I would say that's again, where we intersect, in that people are very quick to judge who and what we are based on certain criteria. But you
Well, let's move over really quick to spoons real quick. So,
I
a good way to explain what's going on is spoon theory. And I have this one I asked Vicki to put up first because we're going to go into breaking down the spoons in a second. But on a good day, like if I wake up and I'm having a good day, I'm starting with 12 spoons. That's all I have for the day.
That's the pain level 4. You're saying good day, pain level 4.
Yes. Good day, pain level 4. I have 12 spoons. I am going to kill it that day. I can do everything. Now, if I wake up and I have a migraine, on the day that I woke up and I couldn't put pressure on my legs because it was so bad. That was a high pain day. I had basically 3 spoons that day.
Wow.
Okay. So, so we're going to start counting. So now go over to the next thing. So what the spoon theory does, it explains energy in as a spoon. So each activity is an equivalent of of energy. So like taking medications would be 1 spoon, because that's not that bad, right? However, if I were going to go exercise, that takes more energy. So it's 4 spoons, right?
Wow.
Yes. So the really cool thing is now I can borrow. Let's say I really want to go to the parade, right? And what does that mean that I can borrow? Well, that means I knew I was going to use more than my 12 spoons that day. But that meant the next day I was borrowing from there. So that's why when I had a 3, it's because I'd already taken those spoons and I'd use them the day before. I don't have a reserve. You never get to save them, which is really sucky. You know, like it's like when they didn't allow you to have rollover minutes, remember back in the day where your minutes didn't roll over? It's like that fucking shit. It's a use it or lose it kind of situation, and it really sucks. I gotta tell you. So I asked Vicki to do this for me. She's gonna help, and I have my spoons here. And we're just gonna talk about a normal day for my normal day now, right? Now I get out of bed in the morning and I go to the bathroom. That's 1 spoon, right? Yep. Then I take my medication. That's another spoon. Then I'm going to go walk around my house and make coffee and get the pets fed. So that's going to be 3 spoons. So I've already lost 5 spoons and it's only 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Then I'm going to take a bath. That's 2 spoons. I'm still in the morning now. Now I need to brush my hair, maybe put some makeup on. That's 2 more. Then everybody in the morning wants to make sure that you respond to them. So you have to check your phone, look at your text message, check social media. So now there's 2 more spoons.
Yeah, you're at 11 already.
I haven't even made it to lunch. And I have 1 spoon already left.
Yeah.
So that is what they say we have to be careful with what we use and how we do things. And the craziest things is things that you don't think takes a lot of energy. Like people are like, oh, well, it can't take that much energy to go to the doctors. Going to the doctors is actually one of the most stressful things that you can do and takes the most amount of spoons because you have to get in a car. Even though I haven't driven in years, I haven't driven in like 3 years because I can't because of the seizures. You know, I'm still awake. I'm still sitting in the car. I have PTSD and I have anxiety that gets triggered if cars like come up really quick and people drive like maniacs. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but people's driving skills have gotten much worse since COVID, not better.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's literally gives me a panic attack. But what's even better is my body does, when it goes into the fight or flight, it knows how to go into that fight. The problem is it doesn't know how to shut it off. So, and that's if I'm having a good time or I'm scared. So let's say we go to Disney, right? And I have so much adrenaline going because I'm having such a good time. Right? I'm having fun. People are looking at me. Laura, you need to sit down. No, I feel great. I feel wonderful because I have that adrenaline going and that's all I feel. I'm on like an adrenaline high, but then all of a sudden I crash. And when I crash,
eating up the next day's spoons.
I go gray and I go down.
Yeah.
And I don't know when those things occur. And yes, we had, I can be overstimulated very easy. I actually am very, very, and this is funny because I've never actually told you this, which it's hard because, you know, even though I'm around you so much, most people with chronic illness, we don't want to come off as a whiner. We never want to come off like we're complaining and asking people to have to accommodate us all the time. I have a horrible time with bass. It gives me a migraine. So I can't have a lot of bass. I have all the bass turned down on everything because the noise overstimulates me. Unfortunately, lights flashing and those kind of things are overstimulating as well. However, most people love loud music in that kind of environment because it's very fun. That puts me into a massive panic attack.
Right. No, I was aware. I've actually turned down the bass quite a bit, and we've turned off the lights when we're doing karaoke night.
Yes, the lights coming off was very, very helpful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because again, it's more important that you're with us and that it's not impactful. You know, that's
But
the
at
gift
the
we
same
live with. Is the
time,
fact that we are very
everybody
looking
loves
for time with you.
karaoke and everybody wants to do karaoke. Everybody should still get to do karaoke, even if I can't do karaoke. And that's the thing. Like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm asking people to give up something that they enjoy or something that they want to do because they're trying to accommodate me. Because even with the fibromyalgia alone, they say that when we commit to do something, we go for 30 minutes. We go for 30 minutes. So if you want to go do something, instead of saying no, you go for 30 minutes, which is great. But oftentimes that requires a lot of travel somewhere. So you're using those spoons, then you're getting there. And what's hard is I'll go to other events. Like I belong to a social club over here where I live. And I think I've hurt some people's feelings, which I'm not trying to hurt their feelings. I'm actually trying to have some independence, is what I'm trying to do,
Some time.
and have some control over what I can do. But I know I can go from good to bad really, really quick. I can feel it coming on, and I might be able to still project that I'm feeling great out to everybody, but I might be like, I need to peace out, and I might grab an Uber and take off. It's not to be an offense of anybody else. I just see something coming that's not going to be fun. My friend Mother Butler, last year we went to the Orlando Gay Choir in Sanford at the Ritz. And during that, because it's music and has a lot of bass and a lot of all those things, I went into a very bad episode in the middle. And obviously, we're literally sitting in the middle. There's nowhere we can go. So John's just kind of holding me down in my seat, trying to make sure I don't convulse out. And my friend Mother Butler just looked at me and said, "Please never do that to me again. Please never do that to me again."
Like, you can control that.
Well, no. But the point is, no, and she was not meaning that in a bad way. But what I'm trying to say is, my episodes are scary to people, and I don't want to
Yeah,
scare them either.
yeah.
They're very scary to people.
They're terrifying, but and that's and my being open and honest with you, right? So here's I try to be hovering without being smothering, right? So I know when you're going out to smoke, I come out and stand with you and we talk, because I know that took effort to get there. I know you need to do your vape.
My happy smoke, yes, my happy smoke is very
Yes.
lovely.
Yeah. So
It's the happy calming smoke
but
that keeps me from
yeah,
seizing all day long, which is kind of
and
nice.
again,
But
when we're together, John gets a break, and I take over the watching over, but not on top of you, because I know you need your autonomy. You need you're in control of things, and so
there's a very fine line, and it's a very hard line to walk. And I understand that. And I can only imagine how much more complicated it has to be, being the fact that I'm a very independent, very demonstrative person of myself. I'm very well in my self identity. However, it's a fine line to walk between feeling like somebody cares and feeling like I'm being babysat, literally. I know I'll joke around and I'll say the term babysat, but at the same point, there has to be times where I can feel comfortable. And I've tried to explain it on a couple different levels, but there's certain things that when you're in your house, you're very comfortable. You know where things are, you know how things happen, you know how everything goes. So if I'm going to have a bad episode, for me to know how to get myself to where I need to be, to how to lay down, all those different things are so much more comfortable in my own environment. So it just becomes hard. It is literally it is something that I'm struggling with. It's not anything that I can expect anybody else to be good at around me, because it's something that I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what works. I mean, I try not to be too embarrassing on here, because God knows I can embarrass my husband pretty badly. But if I do anything that expends energy, the next day I'm going to feel it. And like I told my doctor, I still have to feel like I'm alive. Like I
Yeah.
have to have a life worth
You have
living.
to have reasons for living. You can't just exist for the sake of the
So
disease.
I can't just feel like I'm put in bubble wrap all the time. Some of the things that was hard, I want to go back to, like you were talking about your one of the clergies, I believe you were saying, that got, kicked out. Basically, they thought he was drinking and he had MS. Part of what happens with me is my episodes will kind of like go into a freeze mode, almost like I'm staring off and I go kind of blank, apparently. And then it's like I'm drunk. I'm very confused afterwards. I'm very spontaneous. I don't really think real well. I'm not all there. But the problem is I don't know that.
Right. It's
So
terrifying to watch. It really truly is. And again, that's why I stay near you. I'm not watching over you. I'm trying to make sure that you don't go to that place where you're not aware of what's going on. And I've seen that.
yeah, it's really scary. I mean, I want to be honest, like I need to explain how bad it's gotten at times. I mean, the one day, my doctor's office, my primary care, you have to go upstairs to go to her office. I can't go upstairs. That's one of the problems. I can't do stairs because of the EDS. My body literally, I can't do them. So that's fine. That works great for me because I hate the fuckers anyway, because I can't do them. So I got in the elevator and John's like, I'll meet you up top. I'm like, okay. So I get in the elevator, I push the button. I forgot that was a double entry elevator. So you get in on this side, but you exit on that side. Like it has both doors, right? So of course I pressed the button on the side that I was at, and I sat there and I sat there and sat there, and I couldn't get off the elevator. I was freaking out because I was trapped in the elevator until I heard John say, Laura, what are you doing? And I turned around and like, oh my fucking God, I thought I was trapped in the elevator.
Yeah. I understand.
I mean, that is the level of confusion that happens. That's like when I say I can't find my way out of a paper bag sometimes, I'm not freaking joking.
And I need to say and clarify this. We don't see you that way. Even on your worst days, you are strong, you are brilliant, you are loved, you are
happy smoke.
Yeah. The things that you worry about, at least from the standpoint of perception, we don't see. We know you are, I'm going to be blunt, I am the wordy bitch. That doesn't mean I get it right, but it means I try to dance around with words. Jaime is brilliant. She is, she knows her history. You are strength. You are determination. You are, quite honestly, everything that I wanted to be as a woman. Trying to take care of and help others. You taught me how to stand up. And that standing up fucking matters. And I would not be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't because of the example that you set. Now, I know how many spoons, how much effort, how it takes so much for you to keep that going, to just be you, authentically you, takes more effort than it takes me to be authentically me. Just being honest. just being honest. You have to fight every day to be the Laura that we know and love, and I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. And I have to say it is hard, just like for you. You knew you were not in the body that you just didn't feel right, right? And it's funny, John used to say all the time, I never forgot anything. It was horrible. He used to drive him freaking nuts because I never forgot anything. And he said to me the other day, "Oh, that must be horrible for you now." And I'm like, "You have no idea. I keep telling people I'm stupid now." And it's probably not the right way to explain it. However, when you went from being a person that could run businesses, that could figure out per resident, per day calculations, and then you're the person that gets stuck in an open elevator. It's the same person. And one of the really hard things is that I can start the day being like this. And I can feel that everything's going really, really well. And then it just takes one thing, and I don't even know what it's going to be sometimes. Because once again, it's the PTSD that just shuts it down. But you found an interesting thing, and I talk about. I love watching crime shows, don't I?
Yeah.
Crime shows, serial killer things. It relaxes me. It calms me down. It makes me a very happy person. Like my stress meter goes down. I'm like, I'm in my happy place.
I know. We have watched. We watched. Wow. What was it, the cheerleader murders. We watched a bunch of just really crazy stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If you have a chronically ill, I'm going to give just a couple tips really quick. If you have a chronically ill loved one in your life, please do not ask them how they're doing and how they're feeling. And please don't say things like, "You don't look sick. You look great. Doesn't look that bad. Could be worse." Oh, don't fucking say it could be worse. I'm going to stab you with a fucking pen. You tell me it could be worse. You have no idea how bad I feel, and you're telling me it could be worse. I'm smiling without trying to jab you at the same time. But seriously, we know that you care. If you have a chronically ill person in your life, such as me, I know that you care if you're just reaching out and talking to me. Like if you're saying, "I just want to say hi today," or just checking in. The reason is, and I'm going to explain why. Oftentimes we feel like shit, and we're not supposed to think of it. We're supposed to concentrate on other things. So when people ask us and we're focused on it, or we start saying it, then sometimes we hear, "Well, things could be worse." And once again, that makes rage because we want to jab you at something.
Right.
But it's one of those things that it's so hard, even though you mean the best by it. It's kind of like trying to reword and relearn how to be more open and inclusive in your language. Just checking in, stopping in to say hi. Hope you got anything good going on. Tell me something funny. I'm a meme girl. Send me a meme. I love me some memes. Anything I don't have to read because I'm dyslexic. It's even better for
I always try to summarize my novels for you.
But those little things, those right there. If you have a chronically ill person, just don't ask them how they're feeling, because more than likely they feel like shit, and they don't want to tell you they feel like shit, and they don't want to have to tap dance around it. And then like I get stuck. I feel like I'm a deer in headlights when people ask me. I'm like, "Do you really want to know? Like, do you really want to know? Because I can go down the list, or you really just want me to say I'm fine, right?" Right. So anyway, that is my one tip that I want to give is just try to change that and saying, just checking in. I want you to know I care. Like, I love those. Those are so much better.
Totally cool. Next week, we are going to be back with something crazy, and you're going to have to tune in to see what constitutes crazy in our book. Because, I mean, really,
It's going to be off the chain, y'all.
it's going to be off the fucking chain. And I'm just going to say again, Laura, you changed my life. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. I love you.
You're one of my best friends, and I love you. And yes, I do see you for you. And I see Andrea for her, and I see Tina for her, and I see Angela for her, and I see Marcy for her, and I see anybody else I know for who they are. I see their heart.
Right.
And
but you would be surprised how few people actually do that.
Seeing a person's heart is so much more important than seeing the candy coating shell.
Very true. Very true. Thank you all for joining us and being part of our Ladybug Loveliness. Hope to see many of you this weekend at the virtual story seminar for Jaime or at the Day of Visibility. Go ahead, take us home.
Life doesn't always give you the chance to laugh out loud, but we always can live out loud. So join us next week as we again live life together around our girls' night out table. See you then.